Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Gulfstream today, and a happy Easter to all of those who celebrate Easter, and just another beautiful day here in South Florida. The main track is fast, turf course is firm. Got some nice wind coming out of the east-northeast this afternoon, so very comfortable temperatures. The horses should really like it, and we've got a 10-race card today. With that, we'll have a 400 $1,000 jackpot guarantee this afternoon in the Rainbow Six, which will kick off in race number 5. Now that would be an Easter present, would have you hopping all over town. I know it would make me do that, and that is for sure. So that is race number 5, of course. Just a really nice day, and we had some really good racing on Saturday, but we're ready for this 10-race card, the holiday card, and we got a couple of pick fives this afternoon, but we're going to just go right into the card and start it off. Race 1 will be 5 furlongs on the turf. Maiden claimers 3 and up, $16,000. Looking at the board right now, very early in the wagering, the number 9, Marsac, is currently 1-5. Someone took a nice little pop with that one. It's a 5-year-old gelded son of Proud Citizen. What this horse did was proved he could sprint on the grass. You go look, he vied for the lead. He finished second. That was his local debut at this level and distance. Trainer is Ian Wilkes, and he's got Edwin Gonzalez, a newcomer here, come down from Penn National. He's tied right now with Edgar Zayas. Both of them have 5 wins very early on in the meeting. A couple of horses underneath. The number 3, Trini Summer, I think is eligible to show more after returning from the layup. Finished third, was 23-1 that afternoon at this level and distance for Trent Jaludi, and he's got Lionel Reyes had a pretty good day yesterday, had a couple of wins. He's a son of Triniberg, not Lionel Reyes, the horse is. And then the number 6, Cheval d'Or, going to wear blinkers, responded to both the drop down and the turn back in distance, just ran okay. 5th at this level and distance for Victor Barboza Jr. is pretty solid with first-time blinkers. Doesn't do it a lot, but when he does, he's like 4 for 13, 31%. So he's putting blinkers on the number 6. But just looking at the board right now, you would think the number 9 would be a nice way to start your early pick 5, at least using that one on your ticket. Going to race number 2 this afternoon. It's a 1-mile claimer, 3-year-olds. 20,000 down to 16. I'll give you these scratches as we go along. Pete will update you later, but not many scratches on the card. A couple of jockey changes we'll also give you as we go through. Second is a mile claimer, 3-year-olds, 20 to 16. I went with the number 5 in here. I started it with Yellowstone Girl, who's going to the Alfredo Velasquez barn. After that claim, set the early pace last time out, yielded to finish second at this level and distance. The new connections are going to tab Angel Arroyo to ride. The number 2 horse in here, and that is Maureen Loves Frank, is stepping up to face winners after responding to both that drop down and the stretch out to the mile with that 16 maiden victory at the distance, trained by Brad Cox. So I looked up a stat, how he does with maiden winners. These are mid-level maiden claimers on the dirt. He's 11 for 40, 28%, 68% in the money, 176 is the return on investment. You knew it would be a good stat with Brad Cox, who wins all over the United States. Probably kept this horse down here because it fits against this level of competition. The other one was the 6, Terry's Dream, who's dropping back to the $20,000 level today on the main track. Faced tougher on both turf and dirt before going to the sidelines. Now, that was back in January. Kathleen O'Connell, pretty solid with this type of layoff, 21%. Miguel Vasquez, handling the one-turn mile today. So 5, 2, and 6 in race number 2 for me. Race number 3, we're going to be on the main track again. 6 furlong maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3 and up, $20,000. We've got a couple of jockey changes in here. On the number 4, it's Jose Morales, and on the number 7, make the rider Carlos Montalvo. No scratches in the race. I did go with number 3, Flying Back, who's dropping to this $20,000 level today. You go back, look at this horse's last race, pressed the pace, finished second. That was going 3/4 of a mile against those $25,000 maidens. Victor Barboza Jr., Embassy El Jaramillo are going to team up, and I think the major player in that spot. Let's see what he was in the morning line. He's second choice on the morning line. I had some interest in the number 5, Here, who's also from Victor Barboza's barn. This one moves to that barn after the claim and is going to go on the main track after failing to show much, but that was against 25 maidens going a mile in the 16th on the turf. Edgar Zayas is going to ride this half of the uncoupled entry. So we'll see how the Victor Barboza Jr. tandem runs to it today. The 8-5 morning line favorite is Miss Michaela, who's dropping to a notch and rallying to finish fourth and second, respectively, as the favorite in a pair of 25 maiden sprints at the distance for Antonio Sano. He's got the apprentice, Gabriel Martinez, trying to remedy sort of a chalk-burning status. He's been beaten favorite a couple of times, why I went to look somewhere else with a horse like Flying Back or maybe here, but Miss Michaela is the 8-5 favorite. Going back to the turf today for race number 4, about 7.5 furlongs on the turf. These are claimers, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 in life, 20 down to $16,000. And I went with the number 5, Poppy's Boys on top. Breaks from an improved post. We're going to go back and show you this horse's last race when he's turning for home for the wire, and he had that tough post. You see him, he had, tip out, and I just thought he goes up, and he is the number 11 that day, and he actually gets the lead in here, but he just couldn't hold off the winner accessible. I just beat him to jump to the wire, so it looked like he was going to win it. I thought the 8 horse had a little better of a trip because he had the Poppy's Boys had to deal with post 11. So I thought it was a pretty good situation for Poppy's Boys. Cheryl Weinbar is the trainer. Angel Arroyo atop the son of Venizaro. Number 1, Moni, listed as a gelding. Going to break from the rail today after stalking the pace throughout, finishing fourth. Was only beaten 1.5 lengths when going 9 furlongs for Jeff Engler. Romero Mirage handling the inside draw this afternoon. Certainly a horse I think could run well here, actually the morning line favorite. And number 2, Fly Away. It's turning back to the about 7.5 furlong distance after setting the pace and weakening sort of like at the 8th pole when finishing 5th behind aforementioned Moni. That was going at 9 furlongs. Louis Carvajal Jr.'s got Edgar Prado named to ride this afternoon, and that is the number 2, Fly Away. So Poppy's Boys, I liked the trip last time out. Had to deal with that tough post, Moni, and Fly Away. We'll take a short break, catch my breath. When we come back, show you my Rainbow Six ticket. Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti here, flying solo on a really nice Sunday afternoon. And once again, happy Easter if you celebrate Easter. Otherwise, just a beautiful day for horse racing. The horses are going to love it. Race 5 is going to be a mile maiden, claimer 3 and up, 12-5. Scratch the 5 jockey on number 7 is 10-pound apprentice Renee Diaz. With that said, let's take a look at my Rainbow Six ticket, $48.60 today. Got a single in here. I'm going 3 deep in race number 5 with Wildcat West. Here comes Bullet, Social Equality. I like Big Band Louisiana. This horse last time out in its debut was very sharp. They put this horse right in a graded stakes, grade 3 Florida Oaks up at Tampa, going back where this horse belongs today. I was impressed with its debut right here at Gulfstream Park, Crystal Coast, Yaffa on my ticket, on my Trine Super ticket. We're going to single there. Then I got lots of coverage. I like Digital Footprint in race number 7. Race 8, I went with a 9, Shake 'em, the 4, Just Dreamy and Shelled Phone, and got a little bit of interest in the last race. What a weekend Sappy Joseph Jr. has had. We'll be talking about it a little later, but I like one horse in race number 10. I think 6-1 on the morning line, and that's Katama Moonlight. Boy, this horse was so impressive last time out. We're going to show you that turf race a little later on. So getting back to the 5th race, as I mentioned at the top, 1 mile maiden claimer 3 and up, 12-5, Scratch That's the number 5 horse in here. Going to start it off with 6, Wildcat West, who was really pretty solid in defeat when he debuted locally and finished a duel for the lead second at this very level and distance for Luis Ramirez, who's the trainer, and Jose Morales topped this New York shipper. So I just thought this horse ran pretty well debuting here, got acclimated to the local surroundings. This is going to be start number 2. Number 3, Here Comes Bullet, stretching out to the mile after returning from a long layoff. It was about 13 months. Finished third, was the even money favorite that afternoon, going 6.5 furlongs. Anthony Pecoraro is the trainer, and he's got the Rajiv Mirage atop this gelded son of First Dude. So they liked this horse last time off the bench, so we'll see if now that he has that race, how this horse will run today. Race under its belt, I should say. Then to Social Equality, looking to make amends after moving to the Jorge Delgado barn after the claim. That was a $16,000 claim. They dropped this one to $12,500, and he finished that late closing third. He was the favorite that day at this 1 mile distance. So MSCL Jaramillo rides. I think it's maybe a bounce rebound type of thing there. Just a level 12.5 looks like the right level for number 2, Social Equality. And that, as I said, is where the Rainbow 6 starts today with $400,000 jackpot guarantee. Race number 6 is where the late pick 5 will start, and it's on the turf. About 7.5 furlongs. It's an allowance for state-bred fillies 3-year-olds, and we have 6 in the field. And as I mentioned, I tipped it already how much I like this horse today. Big Band Louisiane, who was really solid defeating state-bred special weight runners. We're going to go back and show you that race. And this is 2 starts back. As I mentioned, went up and tried stakes competition, greatest stakes competition. You just watch this run from her. Really runs well. That day, the number 1 horse, just come flying. And now both those horses that this horse beats come back and win their next race. So that's pretty good. And just a game performance. This is debut. So you're saying debut at this distance, and it was just a game performance. They thought enough about it that they sent her up to Tampa to ride in the Grade 3 Florida Oaks in her second start. The trainer's Tony Granitz, and he's got Angel Arroyo handling the allowance debut today. So I like that horse this afternoon. And as I mentioned, single. But there are a couple other horses you might want to look at in that race. And one of them is the 5 Crystal Coast. I'm going to try these state-bred allowance runners after setting the pace. Just got beat a neck when finishing second against those 35 open claimers going a mile. Carlos David, Romero Mirage named to ride today, and I just thought the connections alone make you give this horse a second look. And then you go to the inside horse with Yafo, who stakes place on the turf as a 2-year-old. Makes her first start since a track to pace 4th against 75 optional claimers. That was going a mile in the 16 during January, and that was at the championship meet. It was a tough time of the year for Michelle Nihe was the trainer. Victor LeBron atop this daughter of Handsome Mike. This horse has got some talent and a little bit of class, so make sure you look at this horse. 6-1, I believe, on the morning line, the 4-1 on the morning line. So we'll see how that horse runs, but for me, it's Big Band Louisiane. I also like the name. That is race number 6. Going to race number 7 this afternoon, and this one is a mile and a 16th on the turf. Claim is 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds and upward who have not won 3 races. 12.5 down to 10.5, scratch to 4. Jockey on the 1 will now be Joseph Trejos. And I got some interest in Digital Footprint, who's changing barns today, going to the Terry Pompey barn after the claim. But I want to go back and show you this horse's last race. We're going to pick it up as the horse turns for home when Digital, Footprint is sort of stuck in traffic, really trying to find a place. The number 5, it's one of those traffic jams that you see on 95, and finds that seam and just runs very well after that. Just thought maybe, had to tip out 4 or 5 wide. It's actually 6 wide, it looks like to me, and just comes running late. I thought it was a good performance. Now, they went fast early in this race, so maybe that helped set it up. But, just being in that traffic jam, I thought this horse ran pretty well to be second, was just beat at the wire. So clean sailing, turn for home can be very key. Going to Terry Pompey's barn, I really respect the connections. The 5, Big Man Bob, can come up huge today when he drops to the 12.5 level. 3, lifetime claimer after finishing third behind that repeat winner Cairo Campaign. Just thought this horse would run well today. That was a $20,000 conditional claimer going 7.5 furlongs, so I think it's a good spot for Big Man Bob. And also Spinning Kitten drops, turns back, went up last time, set the pace, finished third, was only beating the neck against those 23 lifetime claimers going 9 furlongs for Catherine Davey. Miguel Vasquez handling the combination, both drop down and turn back. So Digital Footprint's going to need some help up front, but I just like that performance. By the way, Digital Footprint will be ridden by Edgar Zayas this afternoon. So now we're going to go to race number 8. And race number 8 this afternoon is a mile race here. Claim is fillies and mares 3 and up. Non-winners of 2 in life, $6,250. The 9, Shake 'em. This is a 3-year-old daughter of Hartspun who has her claiming tag sliced in half today. She rallied to finish second against those 12.5 open claimers at the distance, but that was against straight 3-year-olds. But I found a stat with Bobby DeBona. It's not a big stat, but it's a good stat. When he does a 50% drop in claiming price in route races on the dirt, he's 3 for 10, 30%, 40% the money, 238 is the return of investment. First time this horse will be facing older horses. A lot of guys don't like to do that at this time of the year. I think this horse could run well, especially at this $6,250 level. The number 4, Jost Dreamy, who broke her maiden going 1 mile and 40 yards. That was up at Tampa. Stretches out, moved to the Carlos David barn, and finished a 4-wide fourth. Now, that was going 6.5 furlongs. So it looks like this horse should have no problem with this 1-turn mile distance. And the barn is really good with horses stretching out in distance. They're about almost 30%, the high 20% for sure. And that is the number 4, Jost Dreamy. And then number 5, Shell Phone, is hoping to save just a little bit more for the stretch stride. Went up last time, set the pace, finished second. Was big odds that day of 23-1 at this level and distance for Don Swick, who's the trainer. Carlos Montalvo in the saddle today. So does the Bobby DeBona drop down, get the job done today, facing older horses for the first time. Race number 9. A mile on the turf. These are claimers, fillies and mares, 4 and up, $16,000. I went with the 4, Miss Jen in here. I'm trying to see Miss Jen about 4th on the line, I believe, on the morning line. Cutting back to the mile today after rallying to finish third, was only beating a length that day against similar going a mile in the 16th. I see the speed in here. I think there's enough speed to complement her late running style. The turf course has certainly been favoring horses that are up in that first flight, but I think if you go fast up front, they're able to win from anywhere if they get the right pace set up in front of them. So number 4, Miss Jen, on top of my ticket. The number 2, Sassy Justice, turns back to the mile, surrendered that late lead when finishing 4th, was beaten a length. That was against pretty similar company going a mile in the 16th for Anna Varsi. Victor LeBron will be in the saddle. The 6, Tawa is wheeling back after dumping the rider at the start when sent off as the favorite against this level in competition, going 8.5 furlongs. If you're a buyer aficionado and you just put a line through that last race, probably the one to beat, and here's probably the morning line favorite. Joe Bravo will be atop this daughter of Golden Sense. So you would just think, you just put a line through that one, of course, when the jock falls right at the start. So we'll see how that horse runs today. I'm going to try and beat it with the number 4 horse in there. Race 10, about 7.5 furlongs, allowance optional claimant, fillies and mares, 4 and up. Optional claiming price, $25,000. Scratch the 6. I told you about Katama Moonlight a little earlier. I thought it was a great performance. And we're just going to go back and show you this horse going to pick it up around the 8th pole. It was just a really impressive performance. But just look at those fractions. 22, 38, 45, 46, 109, and 2. And no one was catching. And as I mentioned, Safi Joseph Jr. just had a fantastic day up in New York. And he's got Emercy El Jaramillo named on this really lightly raced 5-year-old daughter of Malibu Moon. That was a really nice performance that day. But you might want to use Una Luna, who was well met when rallying to finish second beaten length, going a mile at this level distance. And this one looks like the perfect one. If Katama Moonlight can't handle that jump up against winners, this one will be sitting right there trying to reap the spoils, as I said. So we'll see how that works out. Then the number 9 horse in here, Furia Vaikika, I think it is, from Chilean bred, is another who's been using her stalking style. She finished second and third, respectively, against this level of competition. Amador Sanchez, Hector Berrios in the saddle. Horse has been right there at the wire. So that's how I see the 10 races on this Easter Sunday card. I'm going to take a short break and come back with our lightning round.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Round off her inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 on top. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti here, and we're going to start our lightning round, and I've sort of been tipping it throughout the analysis of what a great day that Safi Joseph Jr. had. And first, we'll see how his horse, Drain the Clock, ran in the Grade 3 Bayshore up in New York. It was just a great performance. This was a performance, of course, ridden by Arad Ortiz Jr., and just was so impressive in this race. Got an 86 buyer for this performance. So Safi said, well, look at this, just cruises to the wire, but he was, it was a pretty nice performance, just geared down at the wire. I found this thing so interesting. I want to show you. This is his jockey from Ireland. His name is Billy Lee. And I just want to go back. It takes about a minute, but it's fun to watch. You can see what it is. He's just all alone. He's trying to get the horse to the gate. He just keeps going. He gets it. He walks it all the way to the gate. And this guy should get mount fee. He should get everybody's fee. He's just going. He took this horse all the way to the gate by himself, and the horse was not easy. And what does he do? He goes and wins the race for his sister Jillian. So, there was perseverance early on. I thought that was just great to see that. Not here, they'd have like 4 outriders helping this guy out. He did it all himself. Congratulations to him. Just thought it was a fun thing to say. Going back to Safi Joseph Jr., we're going to show you his performance, well, not his performance, with Mischievous Alex. This horse was so impressive in the Grade 1 Carter for Safi Joseph, as I mentioned, and Arad Ortiz Jr. in the saddle. So just comes down, gets a whopping 105 buyer for this victory. Grade 1 winner. So Safi not only did this, he also came back and won the last race up there. So he had 3-win day, 2 graded stakes, and 2 including that performance in the Carter. Just very impressive for Mischievous Alex in that race. So just a couple of things that we got to show you on the lightning round this afternoon. I'm going to take a short break, turn it over to Pete Aiello. He'll give you the scratches, change it, and I'll be back here throughout the afternoon. We're going to enjoy it. See you back.